Am I on? I think I'm on. Good morning, everybody. I am. So let me go post this morning's link. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to do all under the best of circumstances. I don't believe in multitasking at all. And when I have to, you see what happens. I'm like, ah. Welcome. My name's Gary. I am the director of what am I director of? Denver Guitar Orchestra. And I am in the process of trying to get us set up for today's lesson. And you should go to denverguitarorchestra.com and get the sheet music for the morning and or whatever hour of the day it is for you. I'm going to go do the same. I updated Christmas Is. I don't know what sort of psychosis I was in when I arranged it the first time, but it's better now. Christmas Is guitar in the cloud. And then I also arranged Greensleeves for today, which I think is actually right this time. Greensleeves guitar. And then we also have Silent Night, Wonderful World, and Imagine that we're going to be working on today. And overwrite that one. That was a bad experience yesterday for Gary. And we're going to clean it up today. I think it's better now. All right, so now let me get out of this. And let's go get let's make sure it downloaded where I think it's supposed to download. And then we will be ready to rock and roll. Download guitar. And Christmas should be the November 17th version. Nope. It's not. Why not? Where did it go? All right, it's not there. That's a problem. Where did I put it? It's not there. Greensleeves downloaded. Greensleeves. Okay, then let's go back here. Okay, so Greensleeves is fine, right? Greensleeves, guitar, November 17th. Okay, so Greensleeves is here. We're making progress. What the heck? There's perpetual existence of Greensleeves. Christmas Is. How do you refresh? You don't. You probably don't. All right. Here's what I got to do then. I got to go back in here. I got to delete this one. Oh, come on. Delete. Do you want to delete this item? Yes. Okay. Now we'll go back into the app. I'll go get it one more time. Sorry, guys. What time is it? It's 9:04. We got another minute or two before we have to get started. In the meantime, you can watch me fight my technology. Songs. Okay, whoops. Where's the C's? C's come after B's. Christmas Is. Go into this. Try again. Download into guitar. Go back to the cloud. Christmas Is PDF. Download. Okay. Guys, if you were here yesterday, get rid of your current Christmas Is and download the new Christmas Is. And then let me also do the same thing, and then we'll figure out if it makes more sense today. Yesterday was not as delightful as I wanted it to be because Christmas Is guitar, November 17th. Okay, so we got a much better copy of it today. All right, I'm ready to go. Let's see. Look at all those nice people replying to me. That's sweet. All right, we've tweeted. I have 18 notifications on Twitter. I don't know why that is. Oh, I know why. Food Channel retweeted my tweet last night, so everybody's responding to that. Elizabeth, good morning. How are you? I am Delighted you're here. Vic is in. Let's see. Elizabeth's in from northern Colorado. Vic is in from Eugene, Oregon. Pauline is in from the Bay Area in California. She wins so far. Greensleeves is marked 6-8. It appears to be in 3-4. Yeah, it also appears to be in 2-4. So Greensleeves is one of those crazy songs that I have it marked as 6-8 because it was much it was a lot more convenient to arrange it and think about it as a 6-8 as to be 3-4. It also appears to be in 6-8 in other places. And so I went with the easier one for my little brain to conceptualize. So Elizabeth, I will be, I imagine in 1580, this was absolutely a 3-4 song. I think we've gotten enough jazz into it these days where we can, we can debate that. But yeah, I actually have the count-in set at 2-4, 2-4, yeah, 2 dotted quarter note. I don't know how to do that. And 2-2, I guess. So yeah, it's not 2-2. I've got a 2-beat count in, and I have it's sort of in 3-4 and it's sort of in 6-8. And I think however whatever makes you happy. I'm positive the original was 3-4, and so we're updating Greensleeves for modern times. Let's see who else is here. Oh, okay, we got plenty of folks in. Let's get going. So number one, let's talk about very quickly. Let's chat about the website. What I have done, we're going to play Three Blind Mice this week, just to finish up book one. Those of you guys that started with me this week or are still, in that ramping up phase, we'll do Three Blind Mice. And then we're going to dig into Greensleeves, and Christmas is today. And then probably if we get to where we can play Silent Night, Imagine in Wonderful World, we will also do that. So we got a lot of cover. Let's see how quickly we can get going. I'd like you to grab your Three Blind Mice. The only reason I feel obligated to really finish up Three Blind Mice is because it actually has some skill sets for those of you who are more advanced players in terms of how to deal with this G chord. And I also think getting where you're counting correctly is pretty important. And then also dealing with this thunderous G chord that has a tendency to weigh down everything that it does, and how to think about playing. Yeah, you play what's on the paper, sorta. And I feel like a lot of times when I hand out sheet music, that our first thought is I got to play everything on this page. And I don't want you to think that. I want you to think about how is the sound coming out of your instrument, what's making it sound great, what's making it not sound great, and how we can make minor adjustments to what we have in front of us to make the thing go better. So, by the way, don't drink coffee when you're holding your guitar, because eventually coffee will be on your guitar. I was running as fast as I could possibly run today and still failed. Let's talk about 3 G chord shapes. Index, middle, ring. That's the one that I will put on basically every single piece of sheet music I put out. That's the fast, the easy one. That's the one we think about with G chord. If you're a book one person, that is in fact the chord. Okay? Sounds beautiful, right? That's a nice chord. A little hard to hold when you first get it. Involved in guitar, you're like, I don't like that chord. But it is coming up every single day you play guitar, so let's just accept the fact that it's yet another one of these shapes that's not that much fun. Then let's complicate it, okay? When you play it as a newer player, you will play it this way. When you watch people who have been playing their whole lives, they have a tendency to put their ring finger on the second string and their pinky finger on the first string. Get a little bit more pop on the top. It sounds a little prettier. It helps bring up the overall tonality of the chord. The biggest challenge I find with G chord is these bass strings are too much. It's just like blah. That's a lot of bass that comes at you, and so we want to try to brighten it up a little bit by using 2 fingers on strings 2 and 1. Sounds a little better. You still have this cumbersome G note that's hanging around down at the bottom, which is why it sounds like it does. but it's on most guitars I played, it's just too much. It's just has a tendency to take over the rest of the chord. Now, so those are the two that, as a fingerstyle player, you're going to play the most of. But if you enjoy singing and you are going to be doing a lot of folk music, you have to learn another G chord, and that's the one where you put your middle finger, then your ring finger, and finally your pinky finger. The reason is you keep this one open to make your C chord and your fakey F chord, and so that's why we like this chord quite a bit, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so I like you to play the Three Blind Mice with this shape. I rarely use this shape for real. It's more of an instructional thing for me. So middle, ring, and pinky. Okay, let's sing it real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Three blind mice, three blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all went after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as three blind mice? Okay, so that's how we would do this G chord. Now, there's a reason why I want you to be thinking about this shape rather than a more standard shape, is because of the way the melody is going to flow in this song. You really are going to want to use this goofy shape. Okay, next, the reason why folk musicians like this a lot, they end up playing a lot in the key of C because of piano. And so to get to a C chord, if you have this shape, the nice part is you put your index finger down on the second string, and then these two fingers just drop down into your normal fingering. Okay, and then if you listen to 1970s folk music, you'll hear this a lot, where they drop these two fingers down two more. Okay, and you get kind of an F chord. It's like F, maybe minor seventh or major seventh. I don't know, probably major seventh. And the way to turn it into a real F chord is just to take this finger and bar both the first two strings. Okay, now it's a real F chord. And then to get back to C, you just raise that up. And to get to G, you raise this up. Okay, and just making sure you add your pinky. Okay, so and when you watch songs like American Idol or America's Got Talent, and there's some kid up there, The Voice, with some kid, he's got a guitar strapped on him, you can almost guarantee that they're going to be using that system. G chord, C chord, F chord, C chord. Am I doing it right? Yeah. G chord, C chord, F chord, ending on that. And then they don't necessarily play it in the C. They grab a capo, toss it in wherever their voice fits in. They only need to learn 3 shapes and where to place the capo correctly, and they are done with their guitar instruction. Then they spend the rest of their time working on their voice. So it's actually a fairly useful relationship to know when you're playing singing. Okay. The other reason I want to talk about that shape in particular is that in here you're going to have some rather uncomfortable twos show up on that third string, and the only way to get to it, you can't use your regular G chord, because then you've got to lose it. So we're going to play this song with these two fingers anchored. Every single moment in the song is going to allow you just to leave those two anchored. Sometimes we're going to use our pinky finger, and sometimes we're going to use our ring finger. Okay, you guys know the melody. This is not a challenging melody. Even if you're level 1, it's 1s, 2s, and 3s. You know, first position, second position, third position. So the melody itself isn't that challenging. What is challenging is getting the timing right. It's not they all went after the farmer's wife. It's they all went after the farmer's wife. And so, yeah, so getting your timing right according to this is, according to the paper, is a little bit of a challenge. But the melody itself you can play through. Let's talk about the tough acts for those of you guys that are there and thinking about it. Vic says, it took me a long time to get a hold of, a hold on a G chord. Yeah, G chord is far and away, in my mind, in level 1, A chord isn't too bad, D chord isn't too bad, E chord is a joy, right? But G chord is by far the hardest chord that we have to learn right off the bat, and you have to learn it right off the bat. It's in everything, and so it does take you a little while to get comfy with it. I would say overall at this point in my career, I'm pretty comfy with G. C is the one that drives me bananas. I fight C, and I don't have any idea why. It's just one of those chords that I fight. I think everybody has their chord that they're like, that chord and I don't get along. In addition to all of the bar chords, right? There is some open chord that sort of rather have a tendency to miss. But so let's get this shape on, and let's talk about the tough acts and why you really need to use this shape. Okay, so the first one is 3-2-0-0-0. 3. Now you see this 2 on the third string. That's actually right here, right? So you're going to take your hand, your elbow, pull it in just a tiny bit to get room. These 2 fingers stay planted, but now you just add your index finger onto the 2. Okay, and then you take it off. And then you roll back up, put your pinky where it goes on the G chord, and then pluck the pretty note. Okay, do it again. Index. Nothing. Pretty note. Okay, move your pinky up to the second string. And you've got this 1 over here, and if you're using a regular G chord, you gotta let go of the G chord. In this case, since I'm using this shape, I don't need to do that. I can just pull my pinky and play the 2 1s, and then an open G. Hit the pinky again. Do that idea again. Second string, 1 1, open, hit the 3. 3, the they. Drop it to the first string. All went. Now you gotta loose your pinky, move your index finger down to the 2. Up, down, back to your pinky. Second string. Drop it to the first string. Slide around to the 2. Open 2. Slide it back to the 3. Second string. A couple more 3s. Slide it to the first. 2-0-2. Slide it up to the 3. Second string. Nice strum. 1. Open. A pretty note here. Add it onto the 2. Another pretty note. Get a walking bass that way, and then the deep one. Okay, there we go. Right? Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. And that's how we're going to finish it up. So right now my thumb's like, wait, you don't start the day this way. That's a little too much work. So those of you who are truly level 1, I've told you, don't worry about tough acts. That's a level 2 activity. But those of you who've been in level 2 and above, that exercise there about holding these 2, don't ever let them up, and doing all the rest of the song by adjusting either where your index finger is or by where your pinky is showing up is actually pretty valuable in fingerstyle, because we do a lot of that, right? Where you're like, okay, it's a B minor, and you're like, oh, I don't like B minor. Okay. Well, what if we change it to an A minor on the 3rd fret and then just play those 3 strings? So we're going to be always thinking about how to finger things properly to create the least amount of work and the safest attack strategy so that we're most likely to be successful. You see, when I get in a hurry, I often blow that, where I will just start grabbing wildly for frets and strings, and I don't. That's not ideal. Okay, it's always sitting down, study the song, figure out what the best way to run your hand is, and then stick to it. All right, there's 3 blind mice. That's the end of level 1. At the end, those of you guys that are trying to kind of assess where you're at in your life, if you know how to make, without looking them up, A chord, E chord, D chord, G chord, okay, that's a level 1 skill. That's got to have those things. They got to be part of who you are. Second thing, if you went through the level 1 book and could play all of the melodies in a convincing fashion where they actually sound like the song, you're done. You're ready for level 2. In level 2, what we do is we start taking the chords and pairing them up. Main chord with its best friend. and we just go back and forth between those two. So switching chords is really important. You actually learn how to switch chords in level 2. You don't need all the chords to learn how to switch chords. You just need 2 in each song and get comfy with that process of when do you pull up and when do you reconfigure. And then in level 2, we continue studying melody. And in level 3, we study melody. And in level 4, we study melody. And if I ever write a level 99, now we will be studying melody. And then there's a sound in the building. I don't know if you guys can hear it on the microphones. It's going. They're down in the basement fixing my boilers. It's a $207,000 project, and they're running these jack drills and all this stuff. And it's like, oh God, I hope that they get that together. Anyway. Melody. And then in level 2, of course, we are then can actually study tough acts for you guys. Tough acts is where we combine the chords and the melody into that crazy system down there on the bottom of the page. What that does is make you sound like a grown up adult professional guitarist, and it's very challenging and very hard. We don't study it much on level 1 because these songs don't cooperate because there's only one chord. It's really they're a bit unpleasant to play as a chord melody arrangement, but when you have 2, 3, 4 chords, it gets much easier to do the tough acts, at least initially. Then we start putting in all sorts of crazy bizarro chords, and you'll find that it eventually turns into a nightmare as well. So Elizabeth, if you can play 3 B minors if you can play 3 B major TA well, you can play 3 B minors TA. I don't know what the TA stands for, Elizabeth. I bet you're right. 3. Use less abbreviations, Elizabeth. I don't know what that stands for. I'm sure you're right. All right. So there's 3 Blind Mice. That's the end of book 1. We will start again with book 1 in January. We're going to just go do as much with Christmas music as we can for the next few weeks. And then in January, we will go back to the leveled stuff, book 1, book 2, book 3, and book 4. People who've been around a while rush through this. What I know is if it were me and I had to do all this all over again, I would spend a whole lot of time working in book 2. Book 1 is to get you where you decide if you like guitar. That's what it is. Okay. Holding the guitar, tuning the guitar, picking out melodies. Then that's, now I know what Elizabeth's saying. You think I could have thought that through. Book 2 is where it's at. That's where it's happening. That's where the skill set is. That's where the entire library of cool techniques are. I would master every song in book 2 if I had to do all this all over again, because book 3 and book 4 are just taking those and making them more complex, but there's no additional tools there. Let's see. If you can do the 3 Blind Mice tough acts well, you can play anything. I think that's probably true. I think that's really true. It is the last song in book 1. It is the hardest song in book 1, and it incorporates almost every skill that we needed. There's no chord changes in there, and there's no arpeggios in there, but there are decorative notes. There are having to adjust your chord positioning and shape, adding fingers, taking fingers off, all that stuff. So again, I think you're right, Elizabeth. I never thought about it that way. All right, so there's the end of book 1. Know who you are, know what you're up to, and then let's go talk about what do we call it? Christmas music. I want to revisit Christmas Is very quickly. I think I got it correct this time, and so I'd like to go look at that. Christmas Is guitar. Have this open. So remember yesterday, obviously what I did is I wrote this last Christmas, and I don't think I ever presented it in a group. And so when I pull it up this year, I think that I assumed that it was in better shape than it was. And so I didn't check it as well as I should have. And so now it's been more thoroughly vetted, and let's go through it as if it's the day 1. Yours should say November 17th on the top. And nothing changed in it except 4, I did fix one chord, and then I did do some pretty substantial revisions to the guitar melody line, and then I cleaned up a little bit of the tough acts. So your old piece of music I would just throw it out. Okay, so let's go with this one. First of all, let's run through the chords. Look at there. First thing, G chord. Christmas is, and then just a single, just lift everything else off, wave your index finger. Sleigh bells, A7. Christmas is holly, back to G chord. Christmas is caring, A minor 7. Christmas is sharing. Christmas is children who just can't go to sleep, G chord. Christmas is memories, the kind you always keep. Okay. And by the way, Donna told me this is her mom's favorite Christmas song, which I learned this morning. C chord. Deck the halls and give a cheer, E minor 7. For all the things that Christmas is each year. Isn't that pretty? Okay, C chord. Christmas. I put a regular C minor on here. It sounds cool. Merry Christmas. May all your wishes come true. And we would repeat, okay? And then we come back. Don't play 16 the second time through. Let's go to 17 to finish out. May all your wishes come true. E7. It's a beautiful turnaround. A minor 7. Christmas. Merry Christmas. May all your wishes come true. All right, and I didn't fix that one C minor. Use the C minor in measure 13. Oh, gosh, I'll change that one chord out. I can't believe I missed that one. I thought there was only one C minor. There it is again. I measure 18. I'll fix measure 18's one chord, but it won't affect the way you're playing this. It just affects the chord. All right, let's go into melody. Okay, this is what I had such a mess on yesterday. Put in the rests where they're supposed to be, and now it sounds so much better. From the top, I'm going to count in 4, 1 beat rest, and then nice and slow. We'll play it all twice through so you get a sense of how the song works, okay? Is my foot pedal going? It is. All right, from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 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 Sounds weird, right? Rest. Now you got something going on. Rest. Page 2. Beginning. Rest. Oh, sorry. Okay, keep going. Two, three, four. 4. Two, 3, 4. Okay, so there's that nice, pleasant little tune. Very minimalist, not a lot there. 2s and 3s, a little bit of 1s, nothing even going up the neck. It's just very minimalist. So the melody in and of itself is not a ton right now. So now you can find out, hey, Percy Faith is using this incredible vocal skills that he's got to create that. But when you look at it note for note, you're like bum 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 bum. You're like, there's nothing here, and that's what I actually really like a song like that, where the melody is, it turns out it's not what you think, and then when you start tucking in chords underneath it, then you get this like, oh, overwhelming amount of coolness about it. All right, so now let's go through. We'll walk through the tough X, and this is, I think, much better than I had it yesterday. Okay, so here's a G chord. Notice I've been teaching this G chord all day. I never use this G chord, but that's the one my hands automatically grab today. That's fine. Okay, so G chord. Okay, that gives you the neighborhood you're going to live in, and then O2O. And then 22202. Okay, back to your A minor 7. G chord, O2, O, okay, A minor 7. Then that's make your guitar sound cool. Okay, and then we're at measure 5, G chord, O2, O. And the 3 is when things change, right? Again, E minor 7, 3, 2, A minor 7, pinky, O2, G chord. Okay, now I left those in there because it helps if you're on tough X to just put that little note in while you're turning the page, basically. Then grab your C chord at major 9, go. Pinky, D7, O, 3, 1, G chord, E minor 7. I put a real E minor in there, O, 2, 3. A minor with the 2 on the bottom. Isn't that cool? B7, 2, and then E minor again. Some decorative notes. And then with this C chord, you're going to want to do index on top, middle underneath, and then ring out here. So you're going to want to do a kind of a weird shape. Grab the 2 2s first with index and middle, and then the ring finger, grab your 3. And there's a reason why, okay? They're going to go crest, and then lift the middle finger, and then your index finger is just going to go straight back, and then you're going to get 310. That's that C minor I was fighting yesterday. And then go grab the 2 again, and then a G chord. Again, that C just for the 3 just for fun. The turnaround is A minor. Okay, and you're supposed to do those in quarter notes, but remember you're playing rubato, so when you get to them, you get to them. Go back to the beginning of the song, come back through. Let's go to measure 17 to finish up, and then we'll play it through as written. So we got a G chord at measure 17, E7. That sounds so cool. And then the O220. And then that same C minor is 310. G chord, G chord, 4, make sure you use your pinky, and then G chord. Big G chord. Okay, so it's really quite, once you toss in the chords underneath there, you get a pretty complex piece of music, and it sounds really nice. So I like to play it through twice. I think I'm going to try just thumb all the way through for now. I think ultimately I'm going to see about changing over at least one of the times through with the claw, but I'm going to, just because it's just so lush and beautiful, I want to play it with my thumb both times through. We'll start from the top, go down to measure 16, come back and play from 5, is it 5, to the bottom, okay, skipping 16. So from the top, as written, if the tough is too much, it's perfectly fine, right? Play the melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. Oh, I am supposed to play there. 1, 2, 3, 4. The measure 5. Second ending. So we got a couple weeks to work on this. I was getting most of it. I'm getting basic idea of the song. Still haven't got the details worked out on my exact fingering. But it's going to be a nice song. Another one you don't have to play fast, right? We're always looking for an opportunity to make it easy on ourselves. So hopefully that's playing okay for you now. I'm going to change out that one C minor chord to the other shape, but it won't affect anything other than if you're singing and strumming. And so just use the regular C minor there, and you're fine. So no urgency to get that done. Next is what is next? I don't even know. Greensleeves. Let's talk Greensleeves. Right off the bat, Chris, Elizabeth came in and said, this feels like it's 3/4, and it probably is a 3/4 song, but I notated it in a 6/8 because you look through the song, there's questions as to what's going on here. So the first measure is a half note followed by a quarter note. Well, that's clearly 3/4. And then measure 3, I don't have my numberings correct. Measure 3 is no question. It's a 6/8, right? Dotted quarter followed by eighth note and a quarter. So that's 6/8. So the song wants to go in both directions, and it was just easier to think about it as a 6/8 song, and then accept the fact that sometimes you're going to play 3/4 is a lot easier to count in, but 6/8 is got it has this notion of being helpful. What I would say is play it in whatever way that you remember it in your head, and so I would say that's why it goes to 33. Like, this should be a 32 measure bar song. I didn't fix the measure numbers correctly. Won't affect how you play it. All right, let's go through the chords. Make sure we know how to do that. See, E minor. First, let me give you a little melody. Right, dum 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 dum. E minor, dum 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 da da. D minor or D chord, dum 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 da dum. C chord, dum 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 da da. B7, dum da dum da dum da dum da da dum da dum da da dum da da. B7. These B7s are awesome, don't you think? Bum ba dum bum bum. Then you're gonna go to a real B minor. Bum bum ba dum bum 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 ba dum ba da. Bum 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 ba da. B7. Bum ba 2 3. Bum bum ba da bum ba da ba da bum ba da bum ba da bum ba dum bum. So it's going to sound really nice on the guitar. E minor is this key that everything sounds good in, but not that many songs fit, and so this one fits really nicely. 1580 might have been written on a lute. Very well, good. It's possible, right? Who knows? We don't know where it came from. We just know it's old. Next, let's run through the melody, make sure we're okay with that, and then we'll look through and see how we feel about overall the general notation. This is one where I want to talk to you about arpeggio playing because it's a fun one to play to the radio and see how you do. But first, let's talk the melody. It goes all the way up to your tens, and so just be ready to really be thinking about positional playing. I see 3, 5, 7, and 8s and 7s right off the bat, so I'm going clear up to third position here to get started, and then we'll see, because 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, that gets me 6, and then when I go to 8, 7, I'll probably slide up to 8, 7, come back to the 5, and then I got to go down to 2s and 3s. So when I get to 2s and 3s, I'm probably in open position. No 1s in the song, so maybe first position never makes any sense. Second position makes the most sense. We'll take it slowly. As you work on it at home, you find your positional playing that's best for you. So from the top, 1, 2. 10 is? And then repeat the whole song. Isn't that a nice melody? Yeah, the melody, I don't know. The melody in my mind doesn't feel like a waltz. But I again, I think probably initially this was a waltz, and then I think over time it's definitely morphed into what feels a little more 6/8 to me. All right, so there's your melody. You probably heard that a time or two in your life. We only hear it at Christmas time, but it's really nice. Let's go into the tough uke, and then I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the arpeggios. Okay, so 0 on the first, E minor with the 3. Go grab your. I would, if it was me, I'm probably thinking 5, and then I've got a 7, 8, 9 coming, right? So 7, 8, 9. It's just that little shape there, and you're going to play 3 strings. And you want to get them clean and clear. 8, 7. D chord with your pinky. Hit the 2, pull your pinky out, and then a D chord. O2, C chord, pinky on the 3. Lose the pinky, another C chord. 4, O. Regular B7, go grab the 4, and then another B7 partial. That 4 is a bit of a bummer because I don't know how to reach it without tearing up my chord. Then 0, E minor with the 3. If you hit the D string there, it sounds kind of haunting a little bit. Might be fun to add in. D chord with your pinky. Pinky off. 0, 2, 3. O2. C chord with your pinky. 2, O. B7 with a 4. That's a super much of an uncomfortable position. 2, 4, and then E minors. Decorations. Here's the part of the song you just have to memorize. Index finger 7, middle finger 8, pinky finger 10. Okay, 7, 8, 10. 7, 8, 10. You just got to memorize it. That's the only thing in the song you have to memorize because you're going to look away from your sheet music. 7, 8, oh, there's that stupid chord. 7, 8, 10. And you're also going to hit this 4th open. Okay. So again, hit it clean, hit it slow, hit it beautiful. 7, and then A chord with your 5. Lose the pinky to play the 2, and then 3, 4, 4. O2, C chord with your pinky. Regular C chord. 4, O. B7 regular. Go grab that 4 again. Part you memorize 7, 8, 10. A chord with the 5. 3, 4, 4. C with your pinky. 2, O. B7 with a 4. 2, 4. E minors. Play it again. Last time you come through, just give it as this lush. That's that's how you're going to end that song, is just with that a ridiculously slow glissando, probably. Another song you do not have to play fast. Play it at whatever speed your fingers will get to it. I'd say the B7s with the 4s are the biggest problem in the song. You would think that 7, 8, 10 looks like you get up and you're like, what? But it's actually straightforward fingering. All it is your D chord up here on 7. Okay, D chord, P key on 10. Okay, but I've left off this. I'm sorry. I just thought, like, just memorize, and then also hit that 4th string. You get that deep resonant thing. That's one of those things on guitar. Be mindful of it. If your guitar starts to sound really, really like blah-y, I don't know. It's because these two guys are just, you're overusing them. They're busy mucking up the overall prettiness of the melody, or eating up into the chords too much. Minimize your use of them a little bit. Don't hit them every single time it says to on the arrangement. If you've got a G chord, it feels like these are doing too much work, just hit the bottom 4 strings, and it brings a little bit of liveliness back into your guitar. And otherwise it tends to get a little bit, a little Eeyore-ish in its sound. Last thing I wanted to talk about on Greensleeves, because I think it's important, I think you should go listen to the MP3, and I don't think you should play anything except the arpeggios. The arpeggios are set up to be played exactly in the chord position with the root note, okay, and in 6. So if I get bum, 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 ba-da, and then I go to D, bum, 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 ba-da, C chord, bum, 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 ba-da, B7, bum, 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 ba-da, bum, 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 ba-da, bum, 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 ba-da, bum, bum. So you don't do it with your singing, you have to do it with the MP3. You have to get the MP3 out, play it. If you have to download it on your phone and slow it down a little bit, do that. But just play these arpeggios. They're just holding the chord, but they're always root noting throughout the whole thing. So I put it on E chord, roots on E, D chord, roots on D. And so it's a good chance for you to work on your arpeggios. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. Right, so E minor, and then D chord, C chord is on your roots on the 3 of the C, B is the same thing, and I think that will, as an arpeggio study, for bringing your toolbox out again, is just a great opportunity to do that kind of stuff. All right, last thing. It's already past time. So tomorrow we will play these songs again, hopefully. Tomorrow we will make short work of Three Blind Mice. We'll run through Christmases and Greensleeves, just play them in whatever way you want. We'll dive back into Silent Night and hopefully grab in Imagine a Wonderful World as well. So we went through a lot of pretty detailed work here today. No, that's not always as fun as just playing, right? But it's designed to make you a little bit tighter player and a little bit more skillful. So that's it. Guys, have a wonderful day. And I will see some of you later today, and I'll see some of you tomorrow. And let's keep at this. The Christmas music, switching over to Christmas music can usually, it's a little bit of heavy lifting right off the bat. But I have another 30 songs or something that I'm hoping to clean up and get to you guys. And what we want to do there is make the idea of beautiful melodies, just dropping them in, and playing them in whatever fashion you can. We're now at Christmas time, right? So you accept who you are for the next couple of weeks, right? Hey, I'm a melody player. Hey, I'm a chord player. Hey, I'm a tough axe player. Hey, I'm gonna. So just enjoy the music. Play whatever skill set you have. Bring it to there. Make it as close to the what you feel like it should be as you can. And then next year it'll be better. So that's how Christmas works. And so lots more coming your way, guys. Thanks for being here, and I'll see some of you later today. I'll see some of you tomorrow. Elizabeth says, love this piece on guitar. We played Ralph Vaughan Williams' Fantasia on Greensleeves every Christmas. Gorgeous piece, grapefruit. Oh, really? Nice. Very nice. So, yeah, see, Elizabeth has probably, I'm betting Elizabeth has done this so many times. She's like, has to be, not has to be, but when you play it a lot of times, you sort of get ingrained about what you expect to see in the music. And of course, I almost never check other people's work prior to creating my own. Once I get the melody and I borrow that from wherever I can, but after that, I don't really look at other people's work because I don't want to duplicate what they did. I want to do something new. Let's see, Elizabeth, this is going to be a good Christmas. Yeah, it's going to be a good Christmas. You guys, we got a lot of good stuff coming, and it's all of it will provide you a challenge. So, glad you're here, Pauline, Elizabeth, and I'm like this. All right, we'll make that go away, and I will see all of you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, have a great day.